The sun hangs low over the Kalahari, a heavy, molten orb that turns the dust into shimmering gold. Silence usually reigns here, but today the air is thick with a tension you can almost taste. A pride of lions, the undisputed kings of the savanna, has cornered a creature no larger than a kitchen chair. Most animals would be paralyzed by fear, their instincts screaming for a retreat that would never come. But not this one. This creature doesn't know the meaning of the word surrender. It lets out a rattling, guttural hiss that sounds like a chainsaw struggling to start. It charges. It doesn't charge away from the lions, it charges at them. This is the honey badger, a creature that has turned the laws of nature upside down. It is a biological paradox, a small, unassuming, walking lump of coal that has the entire animal kingdom looking over its shoulder. Why does a creature this small command so much respect, or rather, so much terror? To understand that, we have to look beneath the surface. We have to peel back the layers of myth and legend to find the engineering marvel that resides within. Today, we aren't just talking about animals. We are talking about survival in its purest, most defiant form. We are exploring the biological tanks, the cooperative geniuses, and the high-speed hunters that define the African wilderness. When you first look at a honey badger, or Mellivora capensis, you might not see a warrior. You see a squat, black and white mammal with short legs, but that exterior is a lie. The honey badger is essentially a four-legged armored personnel carrier. Evolution didn't give it the size of an elephant or the speed of a cheetah, so it gave it something much more practical: invulnerability. Its skin is a biological masterpiece, measuring between 4 to 6 millimeters thick. To put that into perspective, that is thicker than the hide of a buffalo in some places. This skin is nearly impervious to the sharpest fangs of a leopard, the jagged quills of a porcupine, and the crushing claws of a raptor. But the real magic isn't just the thickness, it's the fit. The honey badger's skin is incredibly loose. Imagine wearing a heavy leather trench coat that is 3 sizes too big for you. If someone grabs you by the collar, you can literally turn around inside your own clothes and punch them in the face. That is exactly what the honey badger does. If a predator manages to pin it down by the scruff of its neck, the kill zone, for most mammals, the badger simply swivels its body within its own skin. It turns a defensive disadvantage into a lethal counterattack, bringing its formidable claws and bone-crushing jaws into play before the predator even realizes what hit it. It is a creature designed to be unholdable, unkillable, and utterly relentless. In the wild, most animals are specialists. They eat one thing and do it well. The honey badger, however, is a generalist with a death wish. Its diet is a testament to its fearlessness. While most creatures flee at the sight of a Cape cobra or a puff adder, the honey badger sees fresh sushi. It is famous for its near-total immunity to some of the world's most lethal neurotoxins and hematoxins. Witnessing a honey badger fight, a cobra is like watching a high-stakes thriller. The snake strikes, injecting enough venom to kill 20 grown men. The badger, unfazed, continues its assault until it crunches through the snake's skull. Then something bizarre happens. The venom begins to take effect. The badger collapses. For 15 minutes it lies there, seemingly dead. A power nap that will be the end of any other creature. But inside its body, a unique nerve receptor lock is at work. Its biochemistry is literally built to reject the poison. 15 minutes later, the badger wakes up, shakes its head, and finishes eating the very snake that just bit it. And it's not just snakes. The honey badger's namesake, honey, comes from its raids on African honeybee hives. These aren't your average garden bees. These are aggressive, swarming warriors. The badger will endure thousands of stings to get to the larvae and honey within. Its thick skin protects it from the worst, but the sheer pain would drive any other animal insane. The honey badger simply doesn't care. It possesses a level of psychological resilience that is unmatched in the natural world. It lives by a simple code. If it's edible, it's mine. While the honey badger is a terror to its enemies, it is a devoted, albeit harsh, teacher to its young. Unlike many African predators that rely on the safety of a pack, the honey badger is a solo survivalist. The female raises her 1 to 3 cubs entirely on her own. There is no father to help provide food, no sisters to help guard the nursery. It is the matriarch versus the world. She raises her cubs in deep, complex burrows that she excavates herself using her powerful, shovel-like claws. These burrows are more than just homes, they are bunkers. For over a year, she serves as a biological drill sergeant. She doesn't just feed her cubs, she trains them in the lethal arts. She teaches them how to dig out rodents in seconds, how to avoid the strike of a mamba, and how to ignore the pain of a bee sting. This intensive, one-on-one training is why the honey badger remains a top-tier predator despite its size. By the time a cub leaves its mother, it is a fully functional engine of defiance, ready to carry on the legacy of the walking lump of coal. Now let's shift our gaze across the savanna to a completely different survival strategy. Meet the Lycaon pictus, the African wild dogs, often called painted wolves, because of their stunning, mosaic-like coats. If the honey badger is the lone mercenary of the wild, the African wild dog is the elite special forces unit. They don't survive through individual brute force. They survive through the most sophisticated social coordination in the animal kingdom. Everything about the wild dog is designed for the group. They have large, satellite dish ears that pick up the slightest rustle of prey miles away. But it's their social intelligence that truly sets them apart. Did you know that African wild dogs vote? When the pack is resting and considering a move to hunt, they use sneezes to reach a consensus. If enough members sneeze, the pack moves. It is a literal democracy on the plains. Their altruism is equally legendary. In a world where survival of the fittest often means the weaker left behind, the wild dogs prioritize their pups and the injured. When a kill is made, the adults allow the pups to eat first, and they will later regurgitate food for those who stayed behind to guard the den. This bond is what makes them the most successful hunters in Africa, with a kill rate of over 80%, far higher than the kingly lion. What happens when the ultimate individualist meets the ultimate team? Imagine a lone honey badger, busy raiding a ground-nesting beehive, suddenly surrounded by a pack of 20 wild dogs. This is a clash of philosophy. The wild dogs use their tactical coordination, circling the badger, nipping at its heels, and using their numbers to distract and disorient. They are strategic, looking for an opening, a weakness in the armor. But the honey badger is the king of chaos. It doesn't use tactics. It uses raw, unadulterated ferocity. It spins, snarls, and delivers bone-crushing bites to any nose that gets too close. For the wild dogs, the risk starts to outweigh the reward. Each dog is a vital part of the pack. Losing one to a badger-inflicted infection or a broken jaw is a catastrophic loss for the collective. The battle is a stalemate of wills. Eventually, the sheer numbers and the persistent harassment of the dogs force the badger to make a choice. Even the most fearless warrior knows that survival is the ultimate goal. With a final, defiant roar, the badger retreats into a thicket or a burrow. It isn't a defeat, it's a strategic withdrawal. The dogs, realizing this lump of coal is more trouble than a gazelle, move on. It is a reminder that in the wild, knowing when to fight and when to walk away is the difference between living to see the sunrise and becoming a footnote in the soil. While the wild dogs use stamina and the badger uses grit, the cheetah uses physics. The Acinonyx jubatus is the golden missile, the fastest land animal on Earth. With its tear-mark facial streaks reducing the glare of the sun and a slender aerodynamic frame, the cheetah is a marvel of speed, capable of hitting 60 mph in just 3 seconds. However, speed comes at a price. The cheetah is built for the sprint, not the marathon, and certainly not the brawl. It has light bones and small teeth compared to other big cats. This leads to a fascinating dynamic when it encounters the honey badger. In a rare standoff over a kill, perhaps a small antelope, the cheetah has just exhausted itself to catch. The honey badger may approach. Logic would suggest the cheetah, being much larger and faster, should win. But the badger doesn't care about logic. It marches toward the cheetah with its tail held high, a clear signal of aggression. The cheetah, aware that even a small injury could end its ability to hunt, and thus its life, often chooses to abandon its kill. It is a stunning display of how psychological dominance can trump physical size. In the African wild, ferocity often carries more weight than velocity. The story of African survival isn't limited to the burning savannas. If we travel to the Bale Plateau in the Ethiopian highlands, we find a different kind of struggle. Here, in the freezing mists 13,000 feet above sea level, lives the Gelada monkey. These are the only primates that feed almost exclusively on grass, and they are easily identified by the bleeding heart, a patch of hairless, bright red skin on their chests that serves as a social billboard. In this high-altitude theater, power is everything. We see the Aging leader, Toki, who has ruled his troop for years. But a young, muscular challenger named Ranu is rising. This isn't just a fight, it's a political coup. They use lip flips to show off terrifyingly long canines and engage in vocal battles that echo through the canyons. Watching from the sidelines is the Ethiopian wolf, the world's rarest canid. These wolves have a strange relationship with the Geladas. They often walk right through the troop of monkeys, not to hunt them, but to use them as a blind. The monkey's presence flushes out rodents from the grass, which the wolves then snatch up. It is a delicate, unspoken truce in a harsh environment where every calorie counts. It shows that even in the most competitive landscapes, nature finds ways to create accidental partnerships. While the honey badger and the wild dog fight battles for food and territory, there is one warrior facing a fight he cannot win with claws or teeth. This is the Black Rhinoceros. Let's look at Kaifru, a massive bull who patrols his territory like a mobile armored vehicle. He is a relic of a prehistoric age, weighing over a ton and possessing a skin shield that can deflect almost anything nature throws at it. Kaifru is a formidable force. When he charges, the earth literally shakes. He can win a territorial battle against a rival male, and he can drive off a pride of lions with a single toss of his horn. But Kaifru is vulnerable to a predator that doesn't follow the rules of the wild, human poachers. The Black Rhino's horn, made of keratin, the same stuff as your fingernails, is tragically valued in the global ivory and traditional medicine trade. This segment is a somber reminder of the harshness of the modern world. While the rhino has evolved to survive millions of years of natural selection, it is now caught in a silent struggle against extinction. The true tragedy is that the very armor that made it a king of the wild is what has made it a target. Deep in the rainforests of Central Africa, we find the final warrior of our story, the mandrill. If the honey badger is the tank and the cheetah is the missile, the mandrill is the commander. These are the world's largest primates, excluding the great apes, and they are a riot of color. Their faces are painted in vibrant reds and blues, natural war paint that signals their health, rank, and testosterone levels. A high-ranking male mandrill is a sight to behold. He possesses fangs as long as a lion, and a muscular build that makes him the undisputed boss of the forest floor. They live in massive social groups called hordes, which can number in the hundreds. The mandrill's life is one of complex social navigation. They must defend the horde from leopards while managing the internal politics of the group. They represent the pinnacle of primate social complexity, a blend of raw power and sophisticated communication. As we look back at the honey badger, the painted wolf, the cheetah, the rhino, and the mandrill, we see a common thread. None of these animals survive by accident. They survive because they have mastered their environment using the tools evolution gave them. If you had to choose one trait from these animals to help you in your career or personal life, the badger's grit, the dog's teamwork, or the cheetah's focus, which would it be and why? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love seeing how these stories of the wild resonate with your own experiences. If you enjoyed this journey into the wild, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It helps us keep bringing these incredible stories of nature's warriors to you. Until next time.